Hey, welcome back to the podcast. This is Dan. Today's episode is all about worry and anxiety and how to deal with it or not deal with it. Hope you enjoy the show.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
Hey, glad you made it back to the podcast. So today is something that, the older I get, the more I'm hearing about worry and anxiety. So full disclosure, so you're aware, I have a wife and a daughter, a sister-in-law, and a whole bunch of other people that have a constant battle with anxiety, overwhelm, and a little bit of fear, fear of the unknown, especially when it comes to health. Recently, my daughter, Christina, she's sick. She's got some issues going on with her. It's not the COVID. She's got an upper respiratory issue. She's got the bronchitis. And on top of the bronchitis, there's another virus that she has that is compromising her heart rate and making it very difficult, on top of the bronchitis, for her to breathe. So they're doing all kinds of tests. They're worried about blood clots. They're worried about a whole bunch of stuff. She's got to get an angiogram and an echocardiogram. So there's a lot of things that she's currently dealing with. My wife's a wreck about it, by the way. These are very real things. Now, we are on a motivation and inspirational podcast, and I'm talking about my family business. Speaking of family business, my wife has a hair salon and a hair care product line named after yours truly. It goes by the name of Daniel Gerard. Check it out. It's amazing stuff. But so she does that full time, and she's a busy woman, and she does that. She loves it, and she's busy. However, this is one of the first days in probably years that she's decided to take the morning off before Thanksgiving, being a high fashion hairdresser and having a huge client base. She took the time off this morning because she was so worried. It has affected her because of her daughter's health. Understandably so. Even when they went into the doctor's office, the doctor realized, my wife could see it on his face, he was concerned too. Now, Christina's 25, studying to be a nurse. She's going to pursue her education. She's a marvelous individual. Let me just put it that way. She's marvelous. I love her. This is the one that adopted me when she was 18 years old, wanted to take on my name, and I treat her as my own. So she's got a great value system, great character, great work ethic, and now she's been down for about the past month, just sick, not doing too much, just doing her studying. And wife's really upset about it, really worried about it. And so now is Christina, and so is my sister-in-law. Here's what I want to tell you about worry and anxiety. You have to find a place within you when you have adversity happening. You have to realize that you have control what goes in your mind and what goes out. And as we're going through this, I'm giving my wife a little bit of time to go through the process of worrying about, getting anxious about, and doing with all those emotions, but now coaching her daily to get her out of that space, do a pattern interrupt, and look at all the positive things that are going on. And it's not easy. It's hard to do, especially when you're experiencing it. When your body is firing off all these chemicals, your hormones are going nuts, and your mind's tricking you into thinking certain things like it's the worst, like she's going to have a blood clot, it's going to rupture, and then she's going to die, and she'll be without her daughter. I mean, that's how bad it is. And I know, based on the amount of listeners that I have and where you're located at, I got to tell you that I know that everyone is dealing with this in some way, shape, or form. Add COVID on top of it, add unemployment on top of it, add what's going on with the election on top of it, the weather, Thanksgiving. It's just a big mess for everyone. But I want to tell you this. Here's what I'm doing currently today to help the people around me. When I talk to you about the hero version of myself, I can't jump into the I'm worried or anxious car with them and start driving around in their heads. I can't do that. That's totally against every fiber in my core being. It's against all of that. So what I'm doing is I'm actually using the blueprint, AIDA, Aware, Identify, Decide, and Take Action. I'm actually looking at what are the results I'm looking for, what's the purpose for that, and what massive action do I have to do, and what's important now. or who's important now? When? That's part of the blueprint. First step 1 and step 2. First the mindset, and then your big reason why. So now that I'm talking about the blueprint again, if you're interested in knowing more about how to get rid of anxiety, I am not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. I'm just telling you that a lot of these things can be controlled with just putting your mind in control of these things rather than going to worry about seeing a doctor right away because you have situational things happening in your life that are difficult and you don't know how to deal with them. So go see a therapist, go see a psychologist. I am not that person if you're that into it deep. But if you're looking to gain some success, if you're looking at how to get out of a little adversity where you're stuck, I am your man. I can help you with that. Launchwithdan.com. By going into the first step of the no comfort zone mindset and going into the second step, first your mindset, then you want to know why. What you're going to have to do, you're going to have to lay out a game plan of exactly what you're hoping to accomplish. In this case, getting rid of worry and anxiety. How do you do that? You're going to have to get up earlier. I know it sounds funny, and I say that a lot. I always say get up earlier, stay up later, but you're going to have to get out of your normal pattern of routine. And what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to write down your intentions on a sheet of paper. I have been doing it for the past few days, past 2 weeks actually, and I will tell you that in those 15 minutes that I actually go down and write down my intentions, write out my goals, and I pay attention to where I'm at in my life going towards my goals, it's amazing because now belief and faith seem to jump right in. And I'll be damned, after 2 weeks, the same stuff that I'm preaching and teaching and talking about in this podcast, I'm actually experiencing the results all over again. No bullshit. I'm actually writing stuff down. I'm putting intention in space. I'm working a little bit every single day towards it. And next thing you know, it's just things are starting to formulate right in front of me. It's almost like if I want it bad enough and I work towards it, like it's going to happen. And I challenge you to do that. And if you don't know how to do that, that's where we need to get on that call. Launchwithdan.com. Put your name in the calendar. I'll call you. 20-minute power call, and we'll go from there. Had a young guy get on the call the other day, new to sales, early 20s, recently a new dad, getting ready to get married, took on a new job during COVID, and it's all cold calling. And he is getting brutalized by calling people and not being able to talk to anybody. And we're just dialed into the blueprint, and we're talking about living in accomplishment. At the end of the day, ask yourself this question. Do you really want to have anxiety? Do you really want to constantly worry? Do you really constantly want to worry? Or do you want to be in a place where you can actually control your emotions by putting intention in a place where you know it should be? And that's living in the solution and being the best version of yourself you can be for the other one. My wife and daughter both have recently thanked me for being the foundation and not freaking out. Am I concerned? Hell yeah, I'm concerned. This isn't the easiest thing to deal with right now. Do I believe and have faith that everything will turn out? I do. And I have to, because that's all I have. I choose not to have worry and anxiety in my life. Chaos and drama, 15 years ago, that's all my life was about. Constantly fighting with my ex, constantly trying to get leverage over my kids, constantly trying to get into another relationship, constantly dealing with drama and chaos. You don't need that anymore. You absolutely don't. And when you know there's a way to get out of it and you use that way and it works, you're never going to want to go back to that space again. So, hey, do me a favor. If you got any value out of this podcast, anxiety and worry, if you think it's a solution, if you think it offered you value, please, I need some ratings and reviews. Thanks for all the kind ratings recently. Another good 5-star review and another good review also on Apple iTunes. I'd appreciate it if you could do that. Check me out over there. Greatly appreciate it. And hey, listen, Thanksgiving time, it's coming up. It's here tomorrow. I hope and I wish you the best Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a great time with your family. If you're doing it solo, I hope you have a chance to put it in neutral and enjoy the time you're going to be spending with yourself. And quite frankly, I'm grateful and thankful that I have an audience that listens to me rant and rave about how to solve problems in your life and how to look at things a little bit different. I'm grateful for you, and I want you to know that I believe in you. I believe you're worthy for greatness, and I believe you're worthwhile. So I really do appreciate you. So today, tomorrow, the next day, it's that time for you to get out of your comfort zone and start living on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.